Yes, it is happening. Let's make sure we got everything set up and running. All right, all right, all right. Let's see here. It looks like we are up and operational. Yes, we are. What's up, folks? I am excited, excited, and excited. So we are live right now. This is a very, very special session. Um, I am very, very blessed and honored to have been able to get some time for this young woman right here, someone who I like to refer to all the time as a national treasure, Miss Wanda Webb. So for those of you guys who don't know, let me just give you a quick backstory, and then we're going to jump into letting her tell her story. But the very first time I ever saw Miss Wanda Webb, I was at an event in Las Vegas. 15,000 people, the Thomas and Mack Center. I used to go there as a kid to watch UNLV play basketball back in the day, right, when they were the running Rebels. And here I am in the center, ground floor, and Miss Wanda Webb comes up. And I don't even think that she was supposed to speak. I think they knew that she was in the building. They were just like, okay, we got to get her on stage. I don't even know the whole backstory of it all. But what I know is that she shut the place down. Okay. We all went there. There were some of the most famous entrepreneur speakers in the world. And at the end of the event, the only thing anybody could talk about was, oh my God, did you see Wanda Webb? And so I remember to the day, I remember what she was talking about. I remember that she converted the book, The Five Love Languages, and she converted it to a business concept. And she told people, what is the love language of your business? I remember it to this day because, I'm a speaker. And so I was like, oh my God, who is she and how come I've never heard of her before? Right. And so fast forward a couple years later, and I've been blessed to not only have got to know her and her husband, but to be able to be personally mentored by them is absolutely one of the best blessings in the world. So, Miss Wanda Webb, how are you doing tonight with quarantine going on?
Great, 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 Andre. We are blessed on this side of the world over here in Frisco, Texas. Really, I have to say that this is, and I hate even to start this way because I don't want anyone to think that I'm insensitive or that I don't understand some people are struggling. But this has really been an opportunity for my family. And so we are just grateful. We are growing and we're just trying to make the most out of every single day, make sure that we look back and we can reflect and we can be proud of how we use this time.
Awesome. Awesome. So, listen, one of the things that I'm excited about tonight, and we have a little bit of time that we've been able to carve out, is that I have done a couple of these interviews already, and they've been pretty awesome. But we've always had sort of this masculine energy, right? In the calls and in the conversations. And one of the things that I appreciate, my mom was an entrepreneur. I remember from the time I was 5 years old, I never knew my mom ever to work for anybody else, right? And so I always thought I wanted to be an entrepreneur because of my mom. So I think it's awesome that we get a chance coming out of not only Women's History Month, but in particular in our industry that we're going to talk about a little today, which is primarily dominated by women entrepreneurs and women who are incredibly successful at what they do, to be able to get your perspective. So let me start with this. Why don't you just give everybody a little bit of your backstory and let everybody know who you are, where you're from, all that type of stuff.
Absolutely. First of all, I just want to say, Andre, thank you so much for the opportunity to always, invite other entrepreneurs to engage with a wider audience and to share their testimony. Ultimately, that's all we're doing really is just sharing our testimony.
Yes.
And so I appreciate the opportunity to do that on a user-friendly platform. Maybe reach some people who don't know much about our industry and kind of challenge what they might think and maybe invite them to into this space. So hey guys, I am, as we've said several times, my name is Wanda Webb. I live in the Frisco, Texas area with my amazing husband of about 12 years now. We have a blended family, five children, three together. And, you know, people always ask, when did we go into business together? When did we start having that entrepreneurial link? And really, that happened really early on. One of the first major kind of conversations we had in the first weeks of dating was about our ideals about being an entrepreneur and wanting to make money in different ways and wanting to become investors and do more and have more than maybe we saw from where we were from. And so for us, one of our very first conversations we had that was like a serious conversation was about the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. And this is a real story. I had, well, way before I met my husband, I had always kind of had this book in my brain for like a year and a half, 2 years before I met him. And I remember specifically hearing about this book on a television show, a talk show. And Robert Kiyosaki was being interviewed. And I was like practically a kid, a teenager when I saw this. And all I thought was, there are people out here that are not hurting at all. What? Because all I see around me is hurting. And there are actually people out here that have abundance and more than enough. And I guess I was childish enough to not be jealous. And I was childish enough to not instantly assume bad. I was childish enough to be coachable. And in that moment think, man, that's what I want. And fast forward years later, got this book from a friend. It was sitting on their coffee table when I came to their house, and I said, I know this guy. I seen him on a TV show. And they're like, you can have that book. And I was like, you don't like it? And they said, I'll never forget what they said. They go, no, you can have it. All that book teaches you to do is how to take money and make more money. And unless you got some money, it's not talking to you. So you're going to need a lot of money to make some money. And again, I was naive and childish enough to all I heard was I got a free book. Right. And I read that book really quickly. It broke my heart really because I realized, dang it, there really truly are people who are not hurting at all. And everything I know about money and wealth and not having and everything being a lack and there's never enough and who do you think you are and people who are rich are not good people and all those things instantly were challenged in one book. And so it really did make an impact on me at a young age. And so I would bring this up in conversation. I mean, don't you bring up like one of your favorite books when you're dating? And guys never pass the litmus test. It was almost like you were scared to talk about something because you would turn people off. I was scared to talk about, I want to own real estate. Let me read you this one paragraph out of this book, how he takes a couple $1,000s and buys a lien and then only holds it for a couple of hours and then sells the lien and makes thousands. Like I was so enamored with that concept. So here, fast forward, I'm dating my future husband and this conversation comes up and he lights up. Like this is his world. He is an entrepreneur by nature. He's going to have businesses. This is what he wants to do. And right away I was like, oh, someone who wants to go on this journey, like this isn't weird, like, or maybe it is, and we could be weird together. It's kind of like when you find out, I guess it's the feeling that like fellow Star Wars geeks get when they get together, right?
Yes.
And that's how I felt when I met my husband. We had a conversation about Rich Dad Poor Dad. So been in business really with him since the beginning. We went from having swap meets when we were dating to now being able to really understand asset accumulation.
Wait, swap meets. Wait, we got to start there. Wait, what does that mean? Like y'all went to the swap meet and y'all set up a stand and you were selling stuff?
Yes. I was in my young 20s. Like I didn't have a lot of money. And there was this new website that came out. This is like back when this was new, called eBay.
Right.
And you can buy things in bulk there in lot. And I remember thinking, well, I might know 10 people who want that. I might know 10. Like this is really how we started. And it was the first time that we were like in control, like fully in control. It was our first feeling of being an entrepreneur. And then just from there, like it's insane. The things that the opportunities we've been brought, that we've had to become problem solvers, and it led to opportunity. Like our first home, we were brand new married, military kind of dropped a bomb on us, and what we thought was going to be, maybe more time got shortened, and there was just all these elements, and boom, ended up being our first rental property. We did not want to rent a property. We wanted to sell that joker and adios. We wanted the money.
Right.
but we were forced to rent it out because at that time the market was requiring sellers to come to the table with some money. We were young, freshly married, like in our young 20s. We weren't about to do that. The crazy thing about that, Andre, is that property is now going to be one of the largest. Well, it turns out well. It turns out really well. So everything that we thought was adversity, we turn into opportunity. And I really mean that. That is such a theme in our life. And I think that's what it means to be an entrepreneur, is to see opportunity in everything, even the things that you don't want to see opportunity in. In fact, it's those things that really determine how entrepreneurial you really are. And so you might have heard me say this. People have heard me speak this talk before. Everything that happens to me is to promote me. I'm
Yes.
not going to give it any other choice.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so that's where that attitude comes from. And I guess that's how to explain my journey and what's really been the seed to how you know me and how so many people know me in this industry. That was the seed. That was all the bravery and courage building up over the years to say yes to this concept. So you can understand why when I saw this industry, I was like, huh? I wasn't shy. It definitely beat some of my prior experiences. And yes, of course, people might have an opinion about it, but I feel like even that's an opportunity because I get to do this the right way with the right heart, with the right mindset. And I even get a chance to change how people see this industry.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I've always considered it almost more of a profession than even just an industry, right? Like, you have people who are lawyers or doctors, and you can learn the skill set, but it's unique. Like, teachers and nurses and people of that nature, they all have like a special heart because you have to be willing to serve, and you have to be willing to kind of extend yourself. So it's kind of like taking a business skill set with the heart to serve and putting them
Yeah.
together. And that's kind of what we do, right? Like, we love people, we help people, we get to see people win, and it's kind of amazing. It's kind of an awesome profession. So let me ask you this: you mentioned that you started with Rich Dad Poor Dad. You said humble beginnings. Would you say that sort of your own personal development journey was big in helping you, be able to see opportunity and be able to overcome obstacles and have that kind of thought process? Did I lose her? I think I lost you, Miss Wanda Webb. Hold on one second. I don't know if it's you or me. I don't know if it's you or me, but one of us. There you are. I
Hello,
think
hello.
there we go. We got you back.
I did catch your question. It must have frozen your end. I was clear over here. But you
Okay.
said, what a role journey.
Yeah. How did personal development work for you? How important was that in your life?
You know what? It's the lifeblood of what we do. You might get the bravery and even the gusto to try something. You might get the opportunity or something happens and you try something. You try that new business, you try that brand, you try this company, you try. But even good people get tired and worn out and have doubt and wonder and they're scared and they lose energy or they lose vision or things happen. Even great people with great intention, things happen. And so I believe that personal development is the fuel. In fact, about 1 year ago, I was about to have a very, very pivotal event happen in my business. I didn't know it was coming. And the day before it happened, my husband and I had just attended a 3-day seminar, second row, very expensive, amazing value, but a high ticket, probably the most I've personally ever spent on an event. And it was a little bit of a stretch for us, you know? And so we went, this was a major goal for us to do this particular event with this particular set of people. We knew exactly where we wanted to sit. We knew like our experience we are going to have. This was a big goal for us. And a year ago, we attended that event, gave our all, came fully present, and just a vessel. And the next day, leaving that event, we had a major pivot in our business. And I'm telling you, real talk, looking back at that, had we not attended that event, we would not have been our best selves at that moment. We would have reacted differently. We would have behaved differently. Doubt and scarcity, fear would have came in because it was a big pivotal shift in our business. It was bad news. Really,
Yeah.
there's no twist on it. It was bad news. But we literally got that phone call and we looked at each other. I remember my husband and I looking at each other and smiling. And the phone's on speaker, so we can't say nothing. And we're not on mute. We're just smiling. And I will tell you, Andre, that would have not been our attitude. I promise you. We would have been distraught, hurt, felt beaten, felt even betrayed. We looked at each other, and I remember just us like, and we didn't say anything, but what we were saying was, you know what it is. You already know what it is. Coming out of this major event, feeling our best selves, closer to our millions we've ever been. And this is the test. We already know what it is. Chin up. You already know what this is. Look at God's timing. It's a setup. Like, we about to react the right way and be our best self. And God bless everybody. And I love you, friend. And do what you need to do for you. And go kill it. And do your, like, we looked at each other and it was like, we know what's up. You know what's up. You know this is a setup for a come up. This is a test to see who we really are. But I promise you, had that not happened directly after that event, like even had that happened 7 days later, it would probably not been the way it happened. But because it literally happened 12 hours after leaving that event, I look back at that and I'm proud of how I behaved. I'm proud of my mindset. I realized that because of the way I reacted, what should have been a big deal ended up being a very, very, very small deal.
Yes.
Actually had very little impact on us. And I think it was because of how we behaved and how we reacted. And people don't want to hear that. People don't want to hear that how I react to something and what I allow to stir my emotions up is what matters. We don't want to believe that. We want to believe that that things happen to us and that's it. And that's the end of the story. Things happen to you. That's it. Suck it up and go cry, and that's it. We want to believe that because then it releases us a personal responsibility to break through and to do hard stuff, right? We want to release personal responsibility when things happen to us. And the truth is that you don't get to do that. If you're called to a higher thinking, to a higher standard, if you represent a higher spiritual being, you are called to behave differently. And we don't want to be reminded of that great commission in our life. We would like to just behave how we want to behave and let me be myself because this is how I am and you know how I am. But the truth is that God is not interested in our comfort. He is interested in our growth. He is not interested in us having a great, perfect, a blemish-free life. He is interested in us arriving and being our best self and our best vessel self. And so I know, I promise you, I would not have made it without personal development. I, to this day, I don't care how busy life gets, I'm going to be on someone's sermon. I'm going to be on someone's personal development audio, someone's session online. Guys, congratulations. This counts as personal development. I'm going to be doing something no matter how busy life gets. Even when life gets totally busy, the only personal development I get is my praise and worship music. I take it. I'm telling you, because I would not have made it because how I want to behave belongs back in the hood.
I got you. I got you. I got you for sure. I felt like he was reliving that whole moment, like he just came back on you. No, I understand. So listen, let me ask you this. This is something I think some people would understand. You said mom of 5, obviously a wife. Right now, the kids are home. You got a lot going on. How do you process being able to not only successfully build a business, but also maintain sort of, mom duties, wife duties, etc.? And, it's funny because people ask this all the time, and so I feel compelled to ask it. But for me as a dad, like my biggest goal was to be a stay-at-home dad. Like I wanted to be there to be able to cook and do different things and be present in my child's life. You know what I'm saying? So I, I hate to kind of put it on the mom and dad type of thing, but I know there's a lot of people out there that will relate to sort of understanding how you're able to balance and juggle. And do you ever feel bad as a mom or for taking time away from maybe the kids when you're building the business, versus sort of the reward of all of the time that you have to spend with them? You can kind of
Yeah.
maybe touch on that.
No, I get it. I understand why you ask that, because that's like my number one question I get, right? Is we say, how do you balance this role and this identity? And what really people, if I can just dig into that, guys, what you're not asking, how does someone be a mom and a business person, right? Like, how do you do what you gotta do? You make sure they eat 3 times a day. You make sure they bathe. Like, just wake up and you just be yourself, right? Like, how do you breathe and walk at the same time? I
Right.
just do. That's kind of what it feels like to be a mom. But what people are really asking is, what does it look like? How
Hmm.
do I do what I'm already doing, Wanda? Because I'm probably already familiar with what it's like to be a mom,
Hmm.
right? I'm probably already familiar with what it's like to be a dad. I already know how to do that. I'm not asking you, how do I raise children? What I'm asking you really is, how do I win, right? How do I win? I want to win. And this is what's hard. And the truth is that there's always a hard. Because when I was a full time nurse and I was 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., that was my shift. And I was leaving the house around 6:30, and I was cutting it. Y'all nurses know that hands off report. I'm cutting my time. Leaving the house at 6:30, and then when I switched my shift, because I thought, well, this overnight shift doesn't work for a mom. Let me shift it from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. That was worse. That was hard, but I was doing it. The truth is that you already know how to do hard. You just do a different type of hard. Okay. So all I did was switch what kind of hard I was doing. I promise you I have hard days. Absolutely. I would tell you what I look like. Like, I try every day to excel and have a great schedule. I'm not great at it. I have not mastered it, but here's the truth. I know the greats and they haven't mastered it either. You're okay. I every day want to be an amazing wife that my husband falls to sleep and goes, I love my life. I every day want my kids to go to sleep with big old smiles on their faces, and I love you, mommy. I every day want to put, new sales into my business and coach new people and pull value out of new people and scout real estate and understand assets and trade for profit and also eat vegan and read my Bible and do yoga and drink 8 glasses of water a day and moisturize my face and say my prayers and oil my scalp and do the laundry and cook and clean and twerk and pray. And I get it. The truth is that no matter where you are in your life, even if you master all the things you think you want to master, you're still not going to be satisfied. So we have to kind of, here's the reason we think this. Here's why you ask that question, friend. Here's why you ask, how do you do it? Because we are really asking, hey, where's that magical place where it's not hard anymore? Where's that at? Where's the magical place where I just wake up and somebody feeds me grapes and I float through the air and all my taxes are done on time and I'm skinny and I can still eat cheesecake and people love me and they hate me? And where's that magical place? Have you found it? And it's false. It doesn't exist. It's all hard. It's all hard. The difference is I get to handpick my heart. So tonight, my kids were totally ticked off at me when I threatened them 5 minutes before this call and was like, "Get your butt in the bed. I will fight you right now." I had to threaten their lives. I made dinner way too early in the day. It was cold by the time they ate. We didn't get all the schoolwork today. Sorry, Miss Allen, if you're watching, we love you. My husband and I have had very little time together to connect. I've got a pile of laundry in the living room. I've got wet clothes in the dryer right now. I've got food on the stove. I've got some dirt on my kitchen floor because I just finished. It's hard. It's hard. But you know what? I heard someone give me this advice, and this meant everything to me. To this day, I say it. You're gonna suck at something every day. Okay? Maybe today you didn't do your personal development. Maybe today you didn't spend intimate time with your spouse. Maybe today you didn't exercise. Maybe today you didn't read to your kids before you put them to bed and say a nice little prayer. Maybe today you didn't clean your house at all. Your dishes are stacked up. Maybe today you didn't put no sales in. Here, listen. You're gonna suck at something every day. The goal is to not suck at the same thing too many days in a row. Okay? And you need to evaluate what that looks like. Some things are easier to evaluate. I can tell when I'm with my children where their spirit is at and who might need some extra time today, who might need some extra coverage today. I can tell when my husband and I need to turn everything off and just spend some time together. I can tell when I'm not my best self and I need to turn my phone off and get into the Bible or get into some good music or get into some personal development. I can tell when I start getting itchy skin when it's time to do a moisture mask, maybe turn the phone off at 11 and treat myself. Like I evaluate. And if you're ambitious, friend, you know the truth is that you're never supposed to really get to a place where you have it all figured out. One of the things that I constantly say, because I do drive myself crazy with wanting to do it all, is I have to understand I'm not really what I believe is I'm really not supposed to be the representation of doing it all. I'm actually supposed to be the representation of I'm doing my best and I'm giving it my best and I'm doing it with my heart and I mean well and my children are happy and my house has love and peace and I am doing what I know to do. My business is just doing what I know to do and letting the results come where they may. And then the rest, what's not possible for me, or when I'm at my wit's end, or when I don't feel refueled and I'm exhausted and I'm worn out and I just want to cry in my closet, that's when I say, okay, God, you got the rest. You got the rest. All right, Tag, you're this one's from you. And so there is no doing it all, Andre, because I thought when I got to the bracket where I'm at now, I thought, I swear, shoot, I swear it gets easy. That's cake. Eh, you know? Excuse me. So I think what we really want to do, if I could just teach you anything tonight, is I want you to abandon this false concept that when I get here, everything will be just so easier and better and all my problems will go away and the hard goes away when I get here, right? Friend, the hard that it doesn't go away, you just get better. You just
Mm.
get better. You get better. You don't want it to go away really because it's what sets me apart. You get better. And how do I do it? Honestly, I set alarms on my phone like a mad woman. It drives my family insane. I got, halfway done to do list. I set my intentions. I really try to evaluate myself and ask myself, where am I falling short? What can I fulfill? What can I do? What do I need to be doing? I keep people around me that are humble enough that they can love me where I'm at, but also strong enough where they can say, hey, this is where I see you're weak and this is what you can work on. And that's it. That's all you do. That's what you can do. There is no perfect answer, and I know you stumbled on that question because of this whole concept of like gender roles. You were like, I hate to ask you that. Listen, they're real.
Mm.
Okay, it's real. And I wish I could say it goes away when like it goes away. It doesn't, but I have to change my thinking and I have to prioritize. Like there are some things I want to do that I feel like it is I should be doing. And I have to kind of step away and abandon those things for just a season. And I'm not talking about anything about my family or relationships. I'm talking about like, the kids aren't in sports this season. Well, look at Corona hit us. So, that was smart of my part, right? Of course I want them to be in sports this season. Of course I want to do that with them. But I knew that this was not the season to do that. I have, family that I want to go see way more often than I'm seeing right now. But you know what? I also know that this is not the season for me to leisurely travel because we're just too close. We are really close to some major milestones, and it is my responsibility to be present here and to receive the next season that's for me. Of course, I want to. I want to really actually go meatless in my household. Okay. That's just like a thing for me. I really want to do it all the way, not 75%, 100%.
Right.
And I haven't focused on it that much in this season of my life. And okay, so there's gonna be things that fall to the wayside. You evaluate, you make sure it's nothing that's detrimental. God, family, everything else in that order. And you just look at yourself and you say, you know what, dang it, kids had corn dogs again today. Maybe tomorrow I'll make dinner in the crock pot. You just self evaluate and be willing to be coachable so that someone can say, hey, you kind of suck right now in this season at this. So let's kind of get, you're better than this. And also I would tell you that if you are that person who, that sees that there is growth in someone, one of the biggest lessons I've ever learned is to, before I ever say or critique or coach, is I like, that is a big responsibility. That's actually called discipleship. So before it comes out your mouth, it needs to run through the vessel. In my belief, and I know this doesn't represent everyone, but apply it how it makes sense to you. But to me, before I do that, I need to make sure that it runs through the vessel of the Holy Spirit. So that way it can be loved and it can be received. Because if you speak truth, but it's not your timing, or God has not given you the time to talk to someone in that way, what's going to happen is you're going to just speak to their wounds, right?
Hmm.
So then what is the point? That's not communication. Communication is person A saying something and person B receiving it. Well, if person B doesn't receive it, you are failing to communicate. And so for me, I try my best to make sure that I'm where I need to be so that people can coach me, can say, hey, sis, I love you. Here's where I see you fall short. Hey, my love, I love you here. And you know what? Because I'm keeping my attitude and my spirit where it needs to be, when that communication comes, I can go, you know what? You're right. I've been kind of slacking right there. And I thank you because this is confirmation. And so I think it's delicate. Growth is holy territory. And when you commit to a life of growth, there's ways to go about it so that you can have the best results and so that people around you can grow as well. Because ain't that's the goal. I don't want to go to the top of myself. That's not my mission. I need to be growing in a way that allows me to grow and allows everything around me to rise with me as well. That is my ministry. That's my purpose. And I have to remain coachable. I have to remain humble. I'm not it. I don't have it all figured out. I'm not. I'm going to continue to grow. And so I think that matters. I think that's an answer to that question. How do you do it all, man? You remain grounded and you remember what's super important, and don't think at the same thing too many days in a row.
You
Hope I
know,
answered that.
it's a fantastic answer. And one of the things, the reason why I kind of stumbled on it, and actually I'm gonna let you go because I know you got a lot to do. But the reason why I kind of stumbled on it is because in like our industry, right? Oftentimes, even though our industry is dominated by women, right? It really is. And but oftentimes when you go to events and you go to stuff, it's more almost sometimes promoted in a way where the woman is playing the supportive role of the husband who's out building the business or doing things of that nature. And but it doesn't always work out that way, right? Like you guys have this incredible relationships where both of you guys are actively, pursuing and building your business. And so one of the things that's amazing too is that that's part of the reason why we got to jump off this call, right? Is that because what you told me was, look, I still got goals that I got to accomplish for today. I still got a few things I got to get done, in terms of income producing activities for my business, which is super amazing. And one of the reasons why I love being mentored by you and your husband is because, I mean, like last night I got a text from him at 1 o'clock in the morning asking me a question about how can, what can he do to help me, and that, what I'm saying, it's like 1 a.m. and this guy is still going hard every day, in the paint. So listen, what I want to do is I want to let you go because I want to keep to our promise. But I want to do two things. I want to ask you one more time. Can I, not, we don't have to schedule the time now, but I need to get you back because I want to ask one more important question, and that'll be next time. And I think we can get a deep dive into it. And that's simply this, is most of the time stuff is geared from the other perspective. And we always ask sort of what is the woman, how can she support the man in building network marketing? But I want to get to one day, how do you, as not only a wife and a mother, but an active builder, need support from your husband in order to get it done. And I think that that's something that a lot of guys need to hear. And maybe next time we could tackle that. Is that fair?
I love that. I love that. I look forward to it already.
All right. Well, thank you, Miss Wanda Webb, for your time. I appreciate it. I know you got a lot to do, and I got notes. I got notes of nuggets. There's some good stuff there, and maybe I'll put some of them actually in the comments later so that people can check it out, because it was definitely impactful, and I really appreciate you.
Absolutely. Andre, I appreciate you. Thank you again for just an opportunity to always share the story, because that's what we really do. That's what we do. We are professional testimonials, professional storytellers. That's it. And that's all I ask for myself, and that's what I ask for everyone that's watching this. I really want to look at what I do as an opportunity to just show other people how great life can really be, how good God really is through me. And so I want that for all of you hearing this as well, for everyone that can hear my voice. I believe there's value in you. I believe there's absolute wealth inside of you, solutions, problem solving inside of you, cures to diseases, cures to problems, all buried inside of all of you. And if you can find someone who can see it and they can help pull it out of you, please be attracted to that, because you're getting closer to your purpose when you find people who are operating in theirs. There's something crazy that success is so contagious. It is so contagious. So be careful. Guys, thank you so much. Andre, again, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Awesome job. All right, everybody. I told you, national treasure, Miss Wanda Webb. And listen, it's absolutely phenomenal. We actually have, I'm gonna finish, give this information out. We'll actually have a morning mentorship call tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you want more, information like this, more motivation like this, her and her husband do a fantastic job Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays in definitely getting that information out to all of us. Okay, and great, guys.